Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. Today is January 13th, January 13th, 2022, excuse me. It's 2 p.m. and we're here today for our weekly commission business meeting. Before we get started, please join me in a brief moment of silence. All right, thank you very much. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioner Jay Williams, Caston, Powers, Belzer, C. Williams, and Thomas. Joining us virtually, we have Commissioner Irvin. Attorney Butler, if you would, please read the agenda.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and other members of the commission. The first order of business would be to set the next commission business meeting, and staff would recommend that the next meeting be held on Thursday, January 20th at 2 p.m.
The next commission business meeting will be Thursday, January 20th at 2 p.m.
Thank you, sir. And moving into today's utilities agenda, staff would recommend that the commission consider item numbers 1 through 4 together. These are 4 amendments to interconnection agreements in the telephone industry, and I'll summarize those briefly. Number 1 is docket number 2021-47C. It's an amendment to an interconnection agreement between AT&T and McClellanville Telephone Company, DBA TDS Telecom. Number 2 is docket number 2021-48C, amendment to an agreement between, again, AT&T South Carolina and Norway Telephone Company, DBA TDS Telecom. Number 3 is docket number 2021-49C, which is amendment to an interconnection agreement between AT&T and St. Stephen Telephone Company. And finally, we have amendment to an interconnection agreement between AT&T South Carolina and Williston Telephone Company.
Thank you, Attorney Butler. Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Williams, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I move that the commission grant the request for approval of the amendments to interconnection agreements in items numbers 1 through 4 as listed by Mr. Butler.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll vote starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas. Aye. Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 5 is in docket number 2002-364C. Before the commission today is consideration of Touchtone Communication Incorporated's request for reinstatement of its certificate.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the commission grant the request of Touchtone Communications Incorporated for reinstatement of its certificate.
Hearing Commissioner Powers' motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 6 is docket number 2017-256C. Staff is presenting for commission consideration a notice of indirect transfer of control of Combined Public Communications, LLC, filed on behalf of CPC Ingle Holdings Incorporated, the Combined Public Communications Employee Stock Ownership Trust, and Combined Public Communications, LLC.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Powers, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you again. I move the commission accept as information the notice of indirect transfer of control of Combined Public Communications, LLC, filed on behalf of CPC Ingle Holdings Incorporated, the Combined Public Communication Employee Stock Ownership Trust, and Combined Public Communications, LLC.
Thank you, sir. Hearing Commissioner Powers' motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Start with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
I vote aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 7 is docket number 2005-139C. And in this docket, before the commission is consideration of a request from 800 Response Information Services LLC. They want to remove one counsel and replace that counsel with substitute counsel.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Irvin, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the commission grant the request of 800 Response Information Services LLC to remove Wolfgang Buchemeier, Esquire, as counsel of record, and substitute Andrew Montrol, Esquire, as counsel of record. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Irvin's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 8 is docket number 2021-111G. Staff is presenting for commission consideration today the final disposition of a complaint matter. It's entitled Hardy King Complaint Petitioner versus Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated, which is the defendant respondent.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Williams, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. I move that the commission find that Mr. King is liable to desk for $112.86, and that he may choose to pay this amount in whole or in installments up to a maximum of 12 equal payments over a 12 billing period after desk reimburses this amount. This finding is consistent with the hearing examiner's proposal. In the alternative, Mr. King may waive reimbursement of the funds improperly billed in his discretion. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Williams' motion, is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Powers,
Thank
you
you,
have the
Mr.
floor.
Chairman. Certainly support this motion, and I think kind of looking at it, that if he wanted to waive reimbursement, it sure simplifies things for him and the company, but he certainly has that choice. I think that's a good addition to the recommendation of the hearing examiner.
All right. Any further comments? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 9 is docket number 2021-307E. Before the commission for consideration is the petition to review grid reliability and stability proposal filed on behalf of Ananta Gopalong.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston, you have the floor, sir.
I move that the commission direct the clerk's office to send electronic notice of the petition filed by Mr. Ananta Gopalan regarding grid reliability measures and related concerns to the electric utilities and intervening parties in integrated resource plan proceedings, which project future inclusion of the types of resources that the petitioner is addressing. In the notice, I propose that the notified parties be given 30 days to respond to the concerns and proposals raised by the petitioner, after which time the petitioner may file a written response within 15 days. If further action is required at that time, the commission shall order such action after review of the responses from interested parties and the petitioner. So move.
Hearing Commissioner Caston's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
I vote aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Vote aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 10 is docket number 2011-158E for consideration today by the commission is a request by Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and Duke Energy Progress LLC for confidential treatment of the 2022 financing plan.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Caston, you have the floor, sir.
I move that the commission grant the request of confidential treatment of the 2022 financing plan of Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and Duke Energy Progress LLC. The plan contains market-sensitive, confidential, and proprietary information, the disclosure of which could impact Duke Energy's financing costs. For this reason, the plan is entitled to confidential treatment under the Freedom of Information Act. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Caston's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, other members of the commission, at this time, staff would ask to carry over the items in items number 11 and 12.
Items number 11 and 12 will carried over.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Moving on the utilities agenda, this brings us to item number 13. This is docket number 2021-374E, and we have for the commission's consideration the request of Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated for a waiver of a bid requirement and approval to transfer Sand Dunes property to SDC Island Resident Club LLC.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Williams, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I move that the commission carry over Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated's application for approval to sell real property and waiver of its bid requirement. I further move that the commission appoint Chief Hearing Officer David Butler to inquire as to several issues appearing in Dominion's request. First, clarification of the name SDC Island Resident Club LLC is needed for the record. Furthermore, additional justification from Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated is needed regarding the market value of the Sand Dunes property and an appraisal, as well as the basis for the waiver of bid requirement mandated by the Code of Conduct governing the relationship among DESC, SCANA Corporation, Dominion Energy, Inc., and certain other affiliates pursuant to Order Number 2021-358, dated May 14th, 2021, issued in docket number 2019-386-E.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Hearing Commissioner Williams' motion, is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Powers.
I'm concerned, of course, this is a oceanfront piece of property on Sullivan's Island, which is probably one of some of the highest priced properties in our state. I just want to know how we can guarantee that whatever appraisal is done is independent, not something that we're presented with, and I would want the order to reflect that in some way, and I don't know if that would be a friendly amendment or just a clarification.
I think it's a part of the discussion, and I'm sure it's noted by the staff.
Commissioner Powers, are you suggesting a modifier for the word "and an appraisal," like a competitive appraisal,
Independent appraisal.
independent appraisal?
Yeah.
I accept that as a friendly amendment, an independent appraisal.
Thank you.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll first, you accept the friendly amendment.
Yes, sir.
All right, the friendly amendment is accepted. And we will vote on your motion, starting with you, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, other commissioners, staff would recommend that the commission take up item numbers 14 through 16 together. These consist of requests for acceptance of filing of power purchase agreements and requests for confidential treatment of certain portions of those agreements. And I'll review those briefly for the commission. Item number 14 is docket number 2021-371E. It's a power purchase agreement between Duke Energy Progress LLC and Bishopville Solar 2 LLC. Item number 15 is a power purchase agreement between Duke Energy Progress LLC and Jefferson Solar LLC. And finally, item number 16 is a power purchase agreement between Duke Energy Progress LLC and Ebby Solar LLC. All of these do contain requests additionally for the confidential treatment of certain portions of the agreements.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Powers.
Thank you, sir. I would move that the commission approve the request for acceptance of filing of the power purchase agreements and the request for confidential treatment of certain portions of the agreements in items number 14 through 16 as listed by Mr. Butler.
Hearing Commissioner Powers' motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 17 is docket number 2021-355E. We have an application of Duke Energy Progress LLC for the approval to issue and sell securities.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Commissioner Irvin, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the commission approve the application for approval to issue and sell securities filed by Duke Energy Progress LLC. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Irvin's motion, is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas, you have the floor, sir.
thank you. I'd just like to note that one of the stated reasons for the financing is to fund coal ash basin closure costs. And that's something that I think that we should just keep in mind for the future, as it may or may not be appropriate for South Carolina customers to pay those financing costs. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Anything else before we vote? Hearing nothing, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
I vote aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, item numbers 18 and 19 may be taken together, and staff does recommend that the commission do that. Both of these are ministerial revisions to load control service tariffs by both Duke Energy Carolinas and Duke Energy Progress. Item number 18 is the request for a revision to the load control tariff of Duke Energy Progress. And number 19 is a request for approval of a revised load control tariff for Duke Energy Carolinas, LLC.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas, you have the floor, sir.
thank you. I move that the commission grant the request of the companies to make the specified ministerial revisions to DEC's revised rider PMSC Power Manager Load Control Service Tariff and DEP's Residential Service Load Control Rider LC Tariff. The requested changes reflect that the identified programs are available to all individually metered residential customers and there's no need to individually list every eligible residential schedule, which eliminates the possibility of inadvertently omitting eligible customers. Similarly, the changes will correct and update the effective date, docket number, and other number of the tariffs, and order number of the tariffs. Due to the lack of any potential negative impact to customers, the revised tariffs will be able to be implemented without notice and hearing as requested. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Thomas's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 20 is a docket number 2022-2-E. This is the fuel case for Dominion Energy South Carolina for 2022. Before the commission today is a petition to intervene out of time in this proceeding filed on behalf of CMC Steel, South Carolina.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Williams, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I move that the commission approve the petition to intervene out of time in this docket filed by CMC Steel, South Carolina. The parties would not be prejudiced by approval of this petition at this early stage of the proceedings, nor would allowing the intervention cause any delays.
Hearing Commissioner Williams's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, other members of the commission, item 21 is under docket numbers 2021-143E and 2021-144E. This is a request of the Duke companies for approval of the Smart Saver Solar as energy efficiency programs, and the matter is before the commission for final disposition.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the commission approve the Smart Saver Solar programs filed by Duke Energy Progress LLC and Duke Energy Carolinas LLC. I make this motion based on my view of the evidence of record, which leads me to the following conclusions. South Carolina Code Annotated, Section 58-3720 governs EE/DSM programs in South Carolina, and the Smart Saver Solar program is an acceptable EE/DSM program under this statute. South Carolina Code Annotated, Section 58-40-20I does not prohibit the Smart Saver Solar programs. That statute relates to the NEM programs and the NEM incentive established under Act 236 and Commission Order Number 2015-194. Under the revised DSM EEE mechanisms approved in Commission Order Numbers 2021-32 and 2021-33, the utility cost test is the primary cost effectiveness test for evaluating a DSM EE program, and the inputs to the UCT offered by the Duke companies are supported by the evidence of record and are appropriate for use in evaluating the Smart Saver Solar programs. Based on these conclusions, I move approval of the Smart Saver Solar programs. Thank you.
Hearing Vice Chair Belzer's motion, is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Irvin, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you recall, I recused myself in these two dockets on my own motion, and therefore I will not be voting on this particular case, nor did I participate in the deliberations or discussions in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Irvin. Note it for the record that you are recused.
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Williams, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you. The Smart Saver Solar program has been a challenging application to consider, and that's an understatement. It's been challenging because, like Like many of my colleagues, I came into this application thinking one thing about the definition of energy efficiency, that it was relevant to devices and to the overall efficiency of our homes and our buildings. Still, listening to testimony and reading and rereading and rereading the law, I concluded for my own understanding that the Smart Saver Solar Program meets the delineation of a demand-side activity as defined by South Carolina Code 58-37-20. In that, there is a definition that talks about the reduction of more efficient use of energy requirements of the producers, suppliers, or distributors, customers, including but not limited to conservation and energy efficiency, load management, cogeneration, and renewable energy technologies. The aligning programs, incentives for installing solar, the time of use rates, allowing the utility to take control of the thermostat via the bring your own thermostat during peak winter months provides for a meaningful opportunity to reduce both the summer and winter peaks, thus reducing the utility's peak use demand. For me, the harder questions fall into two categories. Whether other customers bear undue burdens of paying for an unfair share of the cost, and whether the companies should be eligible to earn a return on their investment in the Smart Saver Solar Program. Regarding the first point, regarding customers bearing undue burdens of paying for this cost, the company has provided 4 cost tests using their estimated values. The utility cost test was determined to be the primary cost effectiveness test, but not the exclusive one, as approved in the DSM EE mechanisms approved in Commission Orders 2021-32 and 33. In this case, the company's estimates show significant data showing the benefits will outweigh the costs. The participant cost test also shows that this program will just about meet the cost. The biggest discrepancy between the company and ORS has to do with the impact of free ridership, with the company estimating and factoring for 10% of the participants to be individuals who would have participated anyway. ORS's witness estimates 79% of the participants would have participated without the incentives. While I wish we had more data, I personally have decided, based on the evidence of the record, that the company's proposal meets the preponderance of the evidence more than any other analysis that was presented to us. Regarding the company's ability to receive a return on the investment, this is a two-edged sword, so to speak. We are required under 583720, it says the Public Service Commission to establish rates and charges that ensure that the net income of an electrical or gas utility regulated by the Commission after implementation of specific cost-effective energy conservation measures is at least as high as the net income would have been if the energy conservation measures had not been implemented. Thankfully, as part of the EE DSM process, annual assessments are made on the value of programs and the cost to the consumer. Evaluation, measurement, and verification will be critical annual element of this process. The guardrails for this innovative, silo-bursting, and definition challenging program are via the EE DSM program as updated in Orders 2021-32 and 33. Finally, this program is not presidential. Just because we approve or deny this program does not mean that others like it may be approved or denied. Each case will be considered on its individual merits. For these reasons, I will be supporting Vice Chair Belzer's motion.
Any further discussion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Caston.
I do support efforts by the companies to reduce demands and peaks on their grid and generation facilities. Relative to this proposed program, I believe the greater weight of evidence supports ORS's position. The two existing programs, BYOT and rooftop solar, when combined, do not create an energy efficiency program. Section 58-37-20 should not be interpreted as a broad definition of energy efficiency. There are many avenues to reduce grid demands, and these avenues are distinctly different and distinct and generally understood and accepted definitions. The Commission is not required or obligated to adopt procedures submitted under Section 58-37-20, since the statute is permissive and uses the phrase may adopt procedures. Solar photovoltaic, rooftop solar, is an alternate generation source, not an energy efficiency program. Bring Your Own Thermostat, BYOT, is an existing peaking management program. This proposed program does not eliminate cost shift to the greatest extent practicable, and the greater weight of evidence shows that there is a cost shift to non-participants because of this program. Rooftop solar in this program is a solar choice program and violates Section 58-40-20, subparagraph A3 of Act 62. The plain language of Section 58-40-20I prohibits utilities from recovering lost revenues resulting from programs associated with customer generators who apply for customer generator programs on or after June 1st, 2021. The Commission has the authority to use other cost-effectiveness tests other than or in addition to the utility cost test, UCT, such as the total resource cost, TRC, test, the participant cost test, PCT, the ratepayer impact measure, RIM, the RIM test, and the societal cost test, SCT. The greater weight of evidence indicates the proposed program does not pass the UCT and TRC cost effectiveness test. I must respectfully vote no on this item.
All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir. Commissioner Powers.
thank you. Although I agree with what Commissioner Caston has just said, I'm going to try not to repeat any of it, but certainly would join in his interpretation. And Madam Vice Chair, your motion to work on this matter is well studied, and I appreciate the hard work by both the staff and all parties in this case. I think there are other factors to be considered in the interpretation law, and would just want to add a couple of points. I put great weight on witness Ori's testimony in this matter and completely agree there's nothing that limits us to the utility cost test. We have 4 other tests at our disposal, and I think his position was properly stated. The program is of no benefit to the normal ratepayer, and I feel goes against the whole premise of law that we are to do away with the cost shift as much as practicable. I don't think this proposal by Duke does that. Even more telling to me is that despite the enthusiasm, the eagerness of Duke's presentation, when the question was asked that since you strongly believe in this program, would it be pursued without subsidization, the answer was a quick no. Also, it's not being pursued in any of the other territories, and I think in some of the question about North Carolina, there never really was a straight answer about that. I can't vote to let South Carolina ratepayers be their guinea pigs, and that is who the cost would fall upon. If they believed in the program, they could pursue it and seek cost recovery in a rate case or some other way. They don't believe in the program, and I just have to follow the money. For these reasons, I will be respectfully voting no on Vice Chair's motion. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you, sir. I agree with the points made by Commissioners Caston and Powers. And in addition, I have concerns in connection with the required 25-year contract period. when we're in a time period when this technology is rapidly changing. I just do not think that this is in the best interest of customers. So I will be voting no.
All right. Vice Chair Belzer, I completely agree with you that South Carolina Code annotated section 583720 governs EEDSM programs in South Carolina, and the Smart Saver Solar Program is an acceptable EEDSM program under the statute. I also agree with you. The South Carolina Code annotated section 584020 paragraph I does not prohibit the Smart Solar Saver Program, as that statute relates to the NEM programs and the NEM incentive established under Act 236 and the Commission Order 2015-194. Also agree that under the revised DMS-EE mechanisms approved in the Commission Order, numbers 2021-32 and 2021-33, the utility cost test is the primary cost effectiveness test for evaluating a DSM-EE program. Where I can agree with you is that the inputs in the UCT offered by the Duke companies are supported by evidence of record and are appropriate to use in evaluating the Smart Saver Solar Program's cost effectiveness. Now, we all come to the commission with our individual background and experiences. We have lawyers, accountants, engineers, and a master planner. And for me, I rely on the law. And as much as I like the Smart Saver Solar Program, I struggle to understand why more wasn't offered regarding how and why 10% free ridership was appropriate to use when determining the UCT score. Witness Horry went to great lengths to explain his analysis, even though he doesn't have a burden to prove anything to the commission. He's just offering evidence for us to consider as to why he disagreed that 10% was appropriate. I went back to review the transcript several times, and for whatever reason, Witness Duff did not offer more regarding why 10% free ridership was appropriate, other than DSM programs are usually 0%, and they wanted to be conservative with 10%. For me, that's just not enough to meet the burden. The question is still open. I'm not saying that Witness Horry's analysis is accurate. He used numbers provided by Duke to get to a certain figure, but he did raise some pretty common sense questions that, to me, went unanswered. Based on what was presented in the record, one of the questions I had to consider during the course of my deliberations was how likely is it, if this program is approved, that the incentive offered would really entice someone to participate in the program that wouldn't participate in the program at present. I could be wrong, but based on what was presented and the way I understand the information presented, I can't get past that there's just some questions there that don't tip the scale ever so slightly in the favor of Duke to support approval of this program. And that's under the UCT, which I agree is the first step to determine cost effectiveness. But that standard, to me, is still in question because of the lack of information regarding whether or not 10% or any other figure is the appropriate input for free ridership. And respectfully, Vice Chair Belzer, that's why I'm unable to support your motion. Any other comments, questions, or concerns?
Mr. Chairman, I call for the question.
All right, we will vote starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
No.
Commissioner Thomas.
No.
Commissioner Powers.
No.
Chairman Williams votes no. The motion fails.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the next item is item number 22 in docket numbers 2018-321E and 322E. And the commission under these dockets is to consider the joint application of Duke Energy Carolinas and Duke Energy Progress and ChargePoint Incorporated to modify its DC fast charging station program.
Is there a motion? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas.
I move that the commission approve the joint application of DEC and DEP and ChargePoint Incorporated to modify the DC fast charging station program. South Carolina Act 46 provides that a person or corporation using an electric vehicle or EV charging station to resell electricity to the public shall not be considered an electric utility, subject to certain conditions enumerated in the Act. The joint petition is requesting that pricing charged by fast charge stations in excess of the fast charge fee established by DEC and DEP, which cannot exceed said fee by more than 20%, shall be retained by the fast charge station host site. I move that the commission find this to be permissible and that the commission approve the joint petition. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Thomas's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers. Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 23 is docket number 2021-339E. This is a request for approval by Lockhart Power Company of its renewable energy credit purchase and sale agreement, and a request also for confidential treatment of the agreement.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Irvin, you have the floor, sir.
I move that the commission grant the request of Lockhart Power Company for approval of its renewable energy credit purchase and sale agreement and requests confidential treatment of this agreement. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Irvin's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Powers.
before we go forward, I'm wondering as a point of possibly a parliamentary matter that it would be necessary to go back to the item where Commissioner Belzer made a motion to approve, and I would entertain whether or not the chair would accept that motion. Since that motion did not pass, that I would make a motion to disapprove the program as outlined.
Okay, there's a motion to disapprove the program. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote on the motion to disapprove the program. Starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
No.
Vice Chair Belzer.
No.
Commissioner Caston.
Is the yes answer means no, correct? Yes.
Yes
Yes,
means no, and no
okay.
means yes.
I wanted to make sure. I
Yeah, the
get
motion
it.
on the table is to disapprove the program.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. Ayes have it. The motion carries. The Smart Saver Solar Program has been disapproved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, other members of the commission, staff would request to carry over item number 24 at this time, please.
Item 24 is carried over.
Thank you. Item number 25 is consideration of a request for an allowable ex parte for Santee Cooper.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston, the floor is yours.
I move that the commission request an allowable ex parte briefing from South Carolina Public Service Authority, Santee Cooper, regarding an overview of the company's 2020 Comprehensive Integrated Resource Plan, plans for its Integrated Resource Plan update, and to present a proposed procedural schedule for its competitive procurement renewable energy filing petition to be held on February 8, 2022. I further move that we give the staff the discretion to change this date if administratively necessary. I so move.
Hearing Commissioner Caston's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 26 on the utilities agenda has to do with the issuance of a request for proposal for Duke Energy Carolinas LLC, Duke Energy Progress LLC, and Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated in their 2023 awarded cost proceedings. And this proposal is by the Chief Clerk and Executive Director, Ms. Boyd.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas, you have the floor, sir.
I move that the commission instruct the staff to issue a request for proposal for consultants and experts for the 2023 avoided cost proceedings to be filed by Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated, Duke Energy Carolinas LLC, and Duke Energy Progress LLC as required by statute.
Hearing Commissioner Thomas's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, that does complete the utilities agenda for today. And with your permission, I'd like to move on to the motor carrier agenda.
Please proceed.
Thank you, sir. Item numbers 1 through 7 are all requests and applications for Class C authority. Staff would recommend that those items number 1 through 7 be taken together. Be glad to review them briefly for the commission prior to your consideration. Item number 1 is in docket number 2021-376T. It's the application of Bluestone Board Transportation LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 2 is docket number 2021-377T, the application of Faith Transportation Services LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 3 is docket number 2021-378T, the application of Talton Transport LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item 4 is docket number 2021-379T, the application of Champion Transportation and Errand Services LLC. Item number 5 is 2021-380T, the application of Saints Home Care Agency LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. 6 is docket number 2021-383T, the application of Bluffton Medical Transport LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. And finally, we have docket number 2021-384T in number 7, which is the application of Charleston Place Acquisition LLC, DBA Charleston Place Limo for a Class C charter certificate.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas, you have the floor, sir.
thank you. I move that the applications for Class C authority and items number 1 through 7 be approved as listed by Mr. Butler.
Hearing Commissioner Thomas's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, the next items, staff would recommend that item numbers 8 through 12 and 14 be taken together. These are all requests for extensions, and I will review those briefly with the commission. Item number 8 is docket number 2021-300T. It's a request of Crimson Beauty Transporting LLC for an extension of time till February 28th to comply with commission rules and regs. Item 9 is a request of Nathan Barr Jr. Nathan Barr Jr., DBA BC Enterprises for an extension until February 20th, 2022. Item number 10 is the request of Sisters That Care Transportation LLC for an extension of time until July 2, 2022. That's docket number 2021-283T. Number 11 is docket number 2021-312T, a request for extension of Medical Transportation South Carolina LLC for Class C non-emergency certificate. That's a request for a 2-month extension. Item 12 is docket number 2021-309T, request of New Hope Transport Services LLC for an extension of time until January 30th, 2022. And finally, item 14 is docket number 2021-82T. In this one, we have the request of Rush Hour Logistics LLC for a 2-week extension of time to comply with commission rules and regulations.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams would like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston, you have the floor.
I move that the commission grant the requested extensions of time to comply with commission rules and regulations in item numbers 8 through 12 and 14 as listed by Mr. Butler. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Caston's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go back to item number 13 and ask the commission to consider this one singly. This is docket number 2021-60T. It's a request of Morgan Overstreet Trap, DBA Embracing Our Seniors, who's requested an additional extension of time until April 30th, 2022 to comply with commission rules and regulations.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Caston,
I move that the commission grant the request of Morgan Overstreet Trap doing business as Embracing Our Seniors for an additional extension of time only until March 16th, 2022 to comply with commission rules and regulations. This date is the 1-year anniversary of the issuance of the order tentatively approving the company's application. No further extensions will be granted. If the company does not come into compliance with commission rules and regulations by March 16, 2022, then the company will be required to file a new application. So moved.
hearing Commissioner Caston's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, other members of the commission, item numbers 15 through 21 are requests to amend, but we will look at those with your permission singly. Item number 15 is docket number 2013-446T. This is a request of Optimum Healthcare for a name change.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas.
thank you. I move that the commission grant the request of Optimum Healthcare LLC to change its name to Optimum Transport LLC on certificate number 8834-A.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item 16 is docket number 2009-151T, and this is for commission consideration of the request of Malzone Russell DBA Basic Moving for revised bill of lading.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Powers.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the commission carry over Malzone Russell doing business as Basic Moving's request for approval of its revised bill of lading and direct the company to redraft its bill of lading to meet the requirements of South Carolina Code Annotated Regulations 103-159 by incorporating a point of origin, number 4, the name address of the consignee receiver, number 5, declaration of valuation, number 6, weight of the property tendered and received for transportation, number 7, COD shipment information, number 8, number of the bill of lading, number 11, rate per hundredweight or rate per hour, number 13, and any other requirements to ensure compliance with the regulation. The change regarding personal items is proper. All changes to the bill of lading must be filed with the commission within 30 days of today's date. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Powers' motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye. My concern and my hesitation is if this carrier is only is not doing moves by weight, but only doing moves with a hourly charge, there would be no need for the weight on the bill of lading.
Is that
Mr. Chairman, may I ask, I would request that this matter be carried over until next week so we can clarify that, please.
all right?
If they are doing moves by weight, then weight is properly needed on the bill of lading. If they have no weight or moves by weight in their tariff and are only doing moves based on hourly charges, the weight does not play into the pricing or the need to be on the bill of lading, in my opinion.
All right, there's a motion to carry this matter over. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote to carry the matter to whether or not to carry the matter over, starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The matter is carried over.
Item number 17 is docket number 2021-332T. This is the request of Armstrong Relocation Company, Charleston LLC, to amend its tariff.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Williams, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Despite the fact that the applicant is in compliance with all commission rules and regulations, and ORS has not received any complaints regarding this company in the past year, the proposed changes require further inquiry to determine if they are just and reasonable. I recommend that the commission carry over the application of Armstrong Relocation Company, Charleston, to amend its tariff, and I would request that staff make further appropriate inquiries.
Hearing Commissioner Williams' motion, is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Vice Chair Belzer.
if I may, and I apologize for asking a question, Commissioner Williams, but by the phrase, make further appropriate inquiries, would that just mean that staff advises this carrier that they need to provide justification? And the reason I'm being cautious here is our staff cannot conduct inquiries of, they can't do the investigation, so we need for the applicant to provide the information. Is that correct? Is that your intention?
That is my intention.
Thank you. And staff can make that or follow up on that as needed. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You are very welcome. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 18 is docket number 2021-345T. Before the commission today is a consideration of Luxury Movers Moving Company LLC's application to amend its tariff also.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Urban.
I move the commission carry over this matter and that staff request additional justification from Luxury Movers Moving Company LLC for the basis of the proposed rate increase. So moved.
Hearing Commissioner Urban's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 19 is docket number 2021-340T. This is for commission consideration, a request to amend its tariff by True Move LLC, DBA College Hunks Hauling, Junk, and Moving.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas.
I move that the commission approve the application of True Move LLC, DBA College Hunks Hauling, Junk, and Moving to amend its rates and charges. However, I move that the commission deny True Move's request to require a customer to report a claim for damages in 7 days. The currently approved 30-day allowance is in keeping with the commission's recent findings that a minimum of 30 days to make a claim is just and reasonable to the consumer. I also move that the commission direct True Move to establish a 30-day claim period in its bill of lading so that the bill of lading is consistent with the tariff. True Move shall submit a final amended tariff and final amended bill of lading to the commission within 15 days. I so move.
Hearing Commissioner Thomas's motion, is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Vice Chair Belzer.
I appreciate the motion and appreciate the reasoning behind it. However, I will be voting no on this. Our regulations do not state a specific period by which claims may be made. I believe our regulations require that in a bill of lading that there must be a time period stated by which claims must be made. I know that we have a number of carriers on file that have been approved a number of years ago, but even some since this new commission has been constituted that are less than 30 days. And while I understand and certainly appreciate the commission's, this current commission's desire to have a longer period of time to look after the customer with regard to their claims, I think that my personal opinion is that is more properly done by making a minimum requirement in a regulation. And because I don't find 7 days unreasonable. We've had some requests for shorter than 7 days, which I think have been unreasonable. That does not strike me as unreasonable. So for that reason, I'll be voting no, although I certainly appreciate what some of the other commissioners feel about this item. So thank you.
Chairman Williams on that.
Commissioner Caston.
I understand what Vice Chair Belcher said, and I think it's a very good point, good points. And I guess what I'm thinking is with the appropriate, I guess, fix or path forward, whether now or in the future, be to modify the regulation to put some minimum, time in. Relative to this motion, it says it's currently approved, so that the 30 days it's already been currently approved. So while I'll be supporting the motion, I do agree that there needs to be, I think it would be prudent to have a minimum time in the regulation. And whether that's 7 days, 14 days, it can be determined, can be discussed. But I agree with that thought. But if it's time to vote, I'll support this motion as is.
Any further discussion? Well, what you do. I appreciate your indulgence, fellow colleagues. I understand the desire of the commission to protect customers and to give them a fair and reasonable opportunity to report a claim for damages. This issue for me is more what's more important, or what stands out the most, is how the commission operates. We can vote on this, and it can pass, and it will be, if it goes unquestioned or there's no appeal, it will become in effect. But then the question is that the best practice, considering that a regulation hasn't been promulgated? And then I think we have to balance that with, if we really want to protect customers and give them more than 7 days, how long does it take to promulgate a regulation? I really don't have the answer to that question. I don't want to put any of my fellow colleagues on the spot, but do we know how long it takes to promulgate a regulation?
Oh, it'd be over a year probably, because it has to be noticed, and then we have to do a notice of drafting, or I don't even think notice of drafting is first. We'd file that with legislative council, has to be published in the state register, and then we get comments from folks, or we draft a regulation, and then we get comments from folks, and then we have to have a hearing. Not have to, but we have a hearing on it here at the commission, and then we allow comments or leave the record open for some period of time after the hearing to allow further comments. And then the proposed regulation needs to be filed with the legislative council, and it's noticed over there, and filed with legislative council, the House and the Senate, and they can the General Assembly can affirmatively act upon it, or it can go into operation of law after, is it 180 days, 120 days, 180 days?
Stated another way,
Yeah, so it takes a good while.
Luke will be practicing law before the commission.
No, he wouldn't be. but it needs to be a very careful and thoughtful process, because of course regulations have the force and effect of law, and so they need to be have the opportunity to be fully vetted, not only before interested parties here at the commission, but considered by the legislature as well. So it's just a thoughtful process, I think, more than anything.
Understood.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Powers.
I think that would mean it would be 2023 before we could have a regulation, but having made half dozen major moves in my life. I know it takes time to unpack. It takes time to decide what you're going to unpack. Some things seem to have followed me 2 or 3 times and never been unpacked. But I think we got a duty to protect the consumer. And if this vote is to approve and the company disagrees, they can move to reconsider and tell us why they need a shorter time than 30 days. I mean, if there's some justification for that, let them give it to us, not just pop a number out of the air that is convenient for them. And I think that'd be the way to handle this particular case. Certainly understand the other opinions and other decisions that have been made, but we have been recently setting 30 days in different cases. And I just think until we get a regulation, we've got to protect the public. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. We need to get out our scales to balance the issues. Is there anything else? All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Urban, yes, sir.
thank you. I agree with this similar concern that Commissioner Powers has. It's unreasonable to expect any household to unpack every box within 7 days of the move. Common sense would tell us that it's going to take at least a month. And I think that we have the responsibility to protect the consuming public that chooses to use a household mover in South Carolina from being foreclosed from filing a claim before the 7-day expires. It's just unreasonable. I would support the motion as stated. If we want to file a formal request for regulation, we can do that at a later time. But common sense dictates that we take reasonable steps to protect the consumer in our state, and 7 days is unreasonable. I'm prepared to vote for the motion and call the question.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anything else before we vote? Hearing nothing, we'll start with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
No.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote no.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
I'm sorry. Aye.
Commissioner Urban.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes no. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, just to clarify the record, the executive director has confirmed for me that the time that a proposed regulation or final regulation pending before the House and Senate would pass in 120 days if not acted upon affirmatively by both houses. So,
As opposed to 180.
yes, just to correct my earlier statement. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, other members of the commission, item number 20 is docket number 2021-364T. And there's a request for waiver of publication in this docket by NBF Buford LLC, DBA Two Men in a Truck, Buford.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas.
I move that the commission approve the request of NBF Buford LLC, doing business as Two Men in a Truck of Buford, to be excused from publishing in a newspaper the notice of filing in this docket. The commission requires instead the notice of filing appear on the Public Service Commission's docket management system and on the commission's website, allowing for an appropriate time for intervention as established by the clerk's office. As the application is for a new rate schedule by a company previously approved for a certificate, the commission has discretion regarding the need for a hearing and publication of the notice pursuant to Regulation 103-193 of the South Carolina Code of State Regulations. I move filing notice on the Commission's docket management system and on the Commission's website is appropriate in this docket.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 21 is docket number 2021-346T. Before the commission is consideration of the application of Kelly Moving Incorporated to amend its tariff.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Caston.
I move that the commission approve the application of Kelly Moving Incorporated to amend its tariff. The company has provided specific justifications for making the request to amend the tariff. Further, the Office of Regulatory Staff notified the commission Kelly Moving is in compliance with all commission rules and regulations, and that ORS has not received any complaints regarding the company over the last year. I further move Kelly Moving shall provide a copy of its approved bill of lading for attachment to the order. I so move.
Hearing Commissioner Caston's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
I vote aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 22 is docket number 2021-152T. And before the commission is consideration of dismissal of docket number 2021-152T.
Is there a motion?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Caston.
I move that the application of Greenville Area Movers, LLC, be dismissed without prejudice. The applicant has been advised to obtain counsel due to the company's LLC status and has failed to do so. Further, the applicant has failed to file affidavits of publication to show that the notices of this matter have appeared in newspapers of general circulation. As a result, I further move that the commission direct the clerk's office to cancel any upcoming matters scheduled in this docket, whether pre-hearing conference or hearing. Pre-hearing conference on January 24, 2022, and the hearing scheduled for February 1st, 2022 are canceled. If the applicant wishes to pursue obtaining a Class E household goods certificate after this dismissal, it may file a new application. I so move.
Hearing Commissioner Caston's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman and other members of the commission, item number 23 is docket number 2014-209T. Before the commission today is consideration of the request of Stephanie Bourne, DBA Kevin's Moving Service, to cancel Class E household goods certificate number 9810.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Thomas.
I move that the commission grant the request of Stephanie Bourne, DBA Kevin's Moving Service, to cancel Class E household goods certificate number 9810.
Hearing Commissioner Thomas's motion, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, starting with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Chairman Williams votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman and other members of the commission, that does complete the motor carriers agenda and also all agendas before the commission business meeting today.
Thank you, Attorney Butler. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for joining us. Before we adjourn, I would like to recognize a great man I met today. Commissioner Carolee Williams' father had the opportunity to see his daughter in action representing the 1st District this afternoon, and I'm happy to welcome him to our hearing room. I also like to recognize, there he is on the screen there. You're famous. I don't know who installed these monitors on the bench, but they have greatly improved my hearing and business meeting experience. I think the lawyers that appear before us may appreciate them on their council tables as well when we try to pass exhibits around. This was a great addition, so thank you for that. All right, folks, we are adjourned.